Well, howdy folks. In this episode of the Smoogle Bill Workshop, we'll be showing you how these delightful objects came to be. Well folks, it's been a super interesting day today. I actually got to see these objects being made at a blacksmith's forge. Really fantastic, wonderful objects. And most of the work you're going to notice in the following video is done with a hammer. And you know, look at that hook, for example. That wouldn't look out of place in a medieval church or cathedral, would it? I mean, it's so beautifully done. And I'm going to be, this one's going to be used in my workshop. I'm going to mount my tool belt and stuff on this hook, and I've got another one he made in the house where I put my car keys. So there we go. Okay, so let's go and join Adam and see how it is that he can make such wonderful things with such simple tools. It's really fascinating seeing a true craftsman at work, and it was a real privilege to be there today. So I hope you enjoy watching him work as much as I did.
What I have is I got a 4-stair system, so I took a blower from a furnace, which is right there. That's the exhaust fan blower, and that pumps air through the bottom of my fire pot here. So, and that's how this system works. That's just ash from yesterday's fire.
Right.
Let me clear this guy out and I'll start this little fire in here now.
So you built this yourself then?
Yes. Yeah, the actual fire pot I had made, because I didn't have the ability to weld something of that, the thickness of metal. This is 1/2-inch plate, so it's, let me get some.
And that's charcoal you're going to use, is it?
It's actually coal. It's bituminous coal. So you dig it out of the ground in Pennsylvania and burn it down here. So coal is actually quite difficult to get started. Once you get it started, it'll burn for quite a while, but because it is a rock.
Yeah, depending on what you're burning.
All right, it's actually quite fine, isn't it? You crush that, do you?
Yeah, it's this is called pea coal, so it's smaller.
Oh.
And it will end up becoming this, which is a burnt coal, which it's called coke.
Right.
And the coke is mostly carbon, and it burns incredibly hot. You know. No, I make my own.
Former supplier isn't going to supply it anymore.
Yeah, I bought my last supplier out of this stuff. The trick is to keep enough heat going up that so we don't smoke ourselves completely.
Oh, I see. It's just a chimney. There's no drawer on that. Then.
No, there's no draw. However, the heat should do it once it gets somewhat hot.
Yeah. It's amazing. So how did you get into doing this then?
When I was like 12, there was a blacksmith at the local library that set up, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Of course, I wasn't allowed to do it as a kid. But,
right.
Then when I got out of the Army, I'm like, I'm going to give it a try. So gave it a try, and I loved it exactly as much as I thought I would, and that's what I do now.
Fantastic. And you learned the art through
YouTube.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
YouTube, a couple of books, and a lot of mistakes.
Right. goes, yeah.
It takes some finagling for a little while, but
Yeah.
once it gets going. Alright, so
Very cool.
what am I making first? You wanted a hook, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'll use this guy. So, start out with some 3/8 inch round.
Go ahead and start.
Just a piece of mild steel. I guess it's technically like 13 points of carbon in it. It's a low carbon steel.
Right.
And
I'm trying to cut down.
first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw it to a short taper. And of course I'll show it to you as we do it. Draw it to a short taper, and then I'm going to smash that taper out to create that spade head that you've got with the other ones.
Oh, you did that with impact, did you?
Oh yeah. All of it's done with a hammer.
Oh, right. Yeah, that had a wonderfully sort of gothic medieval look to it, the way the styling you put on that. I loved it.
Well, I use them for my own shop all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very fun to make. There we go. So that's it. A nice short taper. See, nice short taper. I'm going to even that out a little bit. And then I'm going to make that spade. We'll flare it out. So that's the top of the hook right there.
You made that look really easy.
Well, I can set this up for you and you can give it a try next if you'd like. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how long I want this bar. I'm going to cut it off with, it's called a hot cut tool. It's just basically a big blade that sits on top of the anvil.
Yeah.
So I got to heat this thing up in the right spot this time, hopefully. Let's see if I can judge that. To try to keep all my stuff consistent, I have templates that I use.
Oh, okay.
That way I know approximately what it should look like. I'm going to turn this guy, I'm going to chop it off at that length. I'm going to draw it out to look roughly like this, and then I'll make the hook out of the finished.
I see. I was looking at that. I couldn't tell if you'd like ground it or something, but you just backed it out.
Just beat it out, yes.
It's all in just beating it. Right? Brilliant.
There's a couple of ways of making it go quicker. You know, you can beat it over the horn so you can round out a section and stretch it out a little quicker.
Oh,
or
yeah.
beat it over the corner and does the same thing, just a little more aggressively.
So that's called the horn, that part?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have horn, heel, hardy hole, pritchel hole, shoulder. This anvil doesn't have much of a shoulder, but what it does have to make up for it is it's got this little guy, which is it's called an upsetting block. And that way you can upset a piece by hammering it down so that I can hold a piece and hammer it and it upsets the other end. Which is kind of a nifty. Here we are. I think
Do you happen to know how much that weighs, that anvil?
I think it's 320? No, it's 300. I'm sorry. It's 125 kilos. So what does 125 kilos turn out to be? I think it's like 300 pounds.
Something
like
I'd have to look that up, yeah.
I don't know if mark that, and then
We have a ton of them if you'd like some. I mean, you still haven't made wreaths or anything out of it?
Now I do a lot of. I ran myself out of heat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just one little hit at a time.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way up to like, I think it's 18 something before it starts burning. So right there, I'm nice heat there.
I'm noticing it's getting kind of a, when you put it back in there, it gets a sort of a shell on it.
That's called scale. What it is another blacksmith told me, he calls it super rust, where it's rust that is created by the oxygen hitting it when it's exposed to it at a high heat.
Right.
It's basically carbon migrating out of the steel. And if you look around here, there's just tons of it. That's all. This stuff is scale. Just trying to round out all those hammer marks.
Gotcha, yeah. So, you said this thing gets up to like 6,000?
It can, if I really go full tilt.
Right.
It'll get so hot that you can't look at it practically.
Really? Wow. And that would actually melt the steel?
Easily.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll melt a piece for you if you want to, because it starts sparking and
oh my.
doing all sorts of fireworks. We're actually close to that temperature here.
Yeah.
So
Interesting how it actually bends it.
It did that because I hit the other side of the forge with it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's how you did the little end.
I can do it with just the hammer. In fact, I should do it just with the hammer, just for fun. All right, so it's a little cold right now.
Look at that.
Nice and tight corner like that. I just cooled off the tip, so if I end up having a hammer on it.
Oh, it stays, yeah. That is fantastic. Oh wow, that's just so
that's
cool.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, that's really close.
And I am going to, I'm going to punch that hole. I can drill it with a drill press or power drill or whatnot, but I'm just going to punch it because it's more visually interesting. You might be there.
You kind of see this leaning over my property. Yeah.
And then it's actually kind of interesting. You want to punch at low heat, so I actually have to wait for it to cool off a little bit.
Oh, I see. It says a bit more brittle.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Right.
Let's see here. Put it over the Pritchel and pop out your little slug. There it is. There's
Fantastic.
that. Now, because I punched it, it's now not square, so I have to put it in the vise and square it up. That's it. There we go. That is almost done. I just need to give it a good clean and then give it its coating.
Oh, yeah, I was interested about how you'd done that too. Got that lovely black Japan look to it.
Yeah. It's just, you know, cast iron pans, that burned oil coating that's on them? That's basically what I'm doing here. I got to get the piece of metal up to about 600-700 degrees, and then I will put its patina on it.
Oh, right. And so that's just basically oil black then.
This, yes, this is just linseed oil. That's all that is.
Oh, is that what you use? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we didn't
and it
have
works so well too. It really does help protect for a long, long time.
Does it also harden the surface?
With this, it would actually, for the steel, it would actually soften it a little bit doing that.
Oh, right.
And the reason being is I'm doing what's called, I guess it's a rudimentary annealing, which bringing it up to a temperature lets the molecules relax a little bit, because it's not hot enough yet. And I use the nastiest wire brush you've ever seen in your life. It's gonna make a cloud of smoke. It's all right.
And that's just linseed oil, huh? Wow.
It works quite well. There we are. And that's done. It's too hot to pick up. It'll be hot for the next 5 minutes or so.
Right, and you don't dip that, you just let that air cool.
I don't want to mess up with the oil patina with water.
Right, yeah.
So for the next few minutes,
okay.
That's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Figured out how to edit sound yet.
In this next segment, you'll see how Adam created a set of tongs. Using 2 pieces of 3/8" round bar, Adam heats up the ends in readiness for some shaping in the anvil. Until you watch a craftsman at work with glowing steel, you don't realize the extent of its malleability when it's heated to upwards of 900 degrees. Adam describes it as being like clay to work with. Let's take a few minutes to just watch him work the metal. It really speaks for itself.
Close. It's getting there. I'm going to try to match them, because they have to match, but they also have to be opposite, because
yes.
they're two, that's the confusing part. And then I'll make a little rivet for it, or punch and drift a hole, and then I'll rivet this sucker together.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be that. That's going to be a very cool set of tongs.
That is.
I had to make fireplace tongs like this. Okay. I'm not touching that. Stretch this guy out a little bit and then.
Right.
Gotta get those out to a customer today.
Custom nails. Huh?
Custom nails. I mean, where can you buy a nail like that?
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that.
There's a rivet.
Oh, look at that.
Now I gotta pop it out of the little. Hopefully my magnet's there to catch it.
Oh, yeah.
A big old magnet underneath. That magnet's got like a 250-pound pull. Hasn't fallen in. Oh, it didn't fall. Here we are. Sometimes it fights me, but that's only because I don't use it very often.
Right. There it goes.
There you go. Look at that. Beautiful little 1/4-inch rivet.
Isn't it? Isn't that lovely? Just.
I've made about 150 of them before they started looking like that.
Oh, really?
It's really easy to get the, well, here's a good example of what they sometimes look like if you don't get them right. The head goes and squishes out to one side.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
You know, but if you get it right.
Which you clearly did there. Yeah.
It's pretty good. And I like to leave a little hammer marks on
Oh,
top.
definitely, yeah, totally.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, of course, those hammer marks are going to disappear when I rivet the other side, but.
Right. They'll still be there somewhat, though, won't they?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So now I got to put a hole through both sides of the reins there, or both sides of the sucker there, and we'll work from there. So I'm gonna punch that. I was gonna drill it, but punching's better.
Right.
Well, punching is
how they used to do it, right?
Yeah, these are. I mean, there's no power tools today.
No.
Slug right there.
Oh yeah.
A nice little hole.
Brilliant.
It's one of the weird things that I had to learn the very, very hard way. Is that punching, you do it pretty cold.
Yeah.
The first couple you do hot to get the mark in, and then you actually want to shear it off cold.
Right.
I can either heat them up to a nice hot heat and drive a 1/4 inch rod through it, which is probably the best method, or I can flare it out just by running this further down until it creates roughly a 1/4 inch space.
Gotcha, yeah.
Either way works. Because I have a lot of 1/4 inch rod, I might just do that.
Right. And aren't they just delightful? How many handmade objects, you know, do you have in your house these days?
There's not that many of them.
No, I mean, this just delightful objects you're creating here.
Well, thank you.
Don't let it go to your head.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Compliments are always welcome. Yeah.
Where are you at, Adam?
Where am I at?
Yeah, where are you at?
Where you is?
It's not.
It is not. It is too.
This is the way of the world, Neil.
Apparently.
I can either trim them or upset them. Either way. I was thinking about upsetting them.
Upsetting them?
Yeah. Let's see if I have an example of what upset is. You know, that sort of flared out. That's an upset end.
Oh, I see.
Now that's a punch, so that's actually bad for it to be upset, but...
Is it? Like it's upset.
It's upset, yeah, it's so mad right now. Give it some heat. See how when we first started, all the heat was way back here, and it sort of migrated to a more central location. Yeah. That's just how the sucker works. I was just gonna give him a little bit of like a bald end.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, that'd be cool. Be interesting to see again how that's done.
With the hammer.
Oh. I see.
Now you can also take this thing and just do this all day long, but the hammer, I think the hammer works a little more controlled. The thing about upsetting is it has to be done at a really high heat. Like this is too cold for it to be done easily with.
Right.
So like a yellow, bright yellow heats when right before it starts melting is when you want to. That's when the metal's the softest. What's really funny is that this hammer is the first one I got, and I've tried all sorts of other hammers and nothing else is anywhere nearly as good in my opinion.
Isn't that funny how you... you know, I know what you mean though. Some tools, they just fit well, don't they? They just...
Yeah.
Something just right about them, isn't
And there's nothing wrong with any of the other ones. It's just... This is the only one that really sits well with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little fun with it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a diamond shape on the end there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
13, 23, right there. There it is. These always look like crap before they're done, but they look kind of cool when they're done. So.
Yeah. It's taking shape, isn't it?
Yeah. with the corner bites into it.
Oh yeah.
And if you can juggle, you can get several pieces in the fire at the same. Gives kind of a cool design at the end there.
That is very cool. Yeah. It's been interesting watching that take shape.
It doesn't look good at first.
It doesn't, does it? And then you. But I was trying to like mentally walk through where you were going with the shaping, you know? And I could kind of see what was going to happen.
Now I might knock the 4 corners off of that so that it becomes an 8-sided thing instead of a 4-sided thing. But we'll see. There we go.
That's the way I buy it. Yeah, it comes pre-mixed, comes alcohol-free, comes stabilized.
This one will be fun. This one's fighting me.
Is it?
I'll get it. They always look terrible when you're working on them. It's getting there. So when I put the tongs together, this guy's going to sit on the other side so I can hammer down and rivet this side and squish it onto the tongs. I need my scrolling tongs for that. It's too hot to get in here. So I'm thinking this through before I do it. Need to break up the coal real quick so I can fit this whole thing in the fire.
Oh, right.
There we go.
It's starting to form into those lumps of coke then, yeah?
Oh yeah, like that's a big piece of coke. This started out as that granular coal earlier.
Fused itself together.
It's weird how it does that, and if you watch it, those little pieces of coal will actually start bubbling up and expanding if you watch them. But almost there. Not quite. It's wrong. I got to reform it. Reform right in here.
Yeah.
Give those guys a little bend. But they're not hot enough, so I gotta heat them up again. And then hopefully this will be done. Make them in an oven, or?
We had a little, we set up some fire bricks.
Okay.
And just, marvelous, look at that.
Close. Darn close.
Yeah.
There we go. Once it loses its brightness, and I'm sure if you know about case hardening, then you know exactly what's going on. You don't really have to worry about stress fractures once it's not glowing. But, so there you go. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
It's just, I love it. It's just, like I said, this will be one of the very few handmade tools I have in my shop now.
Right on.
Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for making that.
Of course.
I was just looking at Adam's Etsy account there online. You should check it out and put in the link below right now. There are some absolutely wonderful items. You won't be able to see them very well here. I'll put a better page up in the editing room. But these are just wonderful. There's jewelry here. We've got letter openers. There's even a rose. I mean, there's the things he can make just by heating up metal and using mostly a hammer is just incredible. What a great craftsman, folks. So, and you can buy his stuff. So do check out his Etsy shop there. And I just want to mention also that he is a combat veteran of the US Army. He served his country, and we thank him for that service. It's awesome that he is able to do that and then come back and serve us as a wonderful blacksmith as well, and he's doing what he loves, and he does it for a living. So I think that is an absolutely fantastic story, folks, and we will be seeing more of Adam in the future. I hope. I will certainly be going down there to do some more projects and perhaps collaborate on some wood and metal projects with him. We have a few ideas already about that, so I'm hoping we'll get a chance to do that, and then you get to see sort of the woodwork side of it and the metalwork side of it as well, which will be really terrific. All right, folks, well, there you go. Thanks for watching, and take care, and we'll see you soon on another episode of the Smoogleville Workshop. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Please click the like button if you found this episode helpful, and we'd love to have you as a subscriber, as there's always something interesting going on in the Smoogleville Workshop.
Bye-bye. See you next time.